Hey, and welcome back to week 2 of Find Your Place. I sure hope you enjoyed your group last week, and I sure hope you appreciate your leaders for opening their homes and leading and facilitating our conversations. This week we are focusing in on your gifts. Last week, Rusty pointed out that you have a unique masterpiece mission. And this week, let's take a dive into our gifts.
Don't you love receiving a gift, unwrapping it, seeing what it is, and then wearing it or using it right away? You know, some of my favorite memories are of opening presents on Christmas morning. My parents always had a very particular way they wanted my sister and I to open the gifts. We started with things like, socks and t-shirts, and then moved up to the better gifts, always saving the best for last. I'll never forget the Christmas that my parents got me a BB gun. It was straight out of the movie A Christmas Story, where Ralphie dreams of getting a Red Ryder BB gun. And you remember it consumed his thoughts, and he was tortured by the possibility that he wouldn't get it because adults kept telling him they thought he would shoot his eye out. But he finally does get his prize. And I had a very similar experience. I'd been asking for a BB gun, dreaming of getting one. By the time Christmas came, I wasn't real confident it was going to happen. As usual, I didn't sleep on Christmas Eve, thinking of what might be under the tree the next morning. And as usual, my parents took forever getting everything ready so my sister and I could come into the den where all the treasures were under the tree. Well, we opened presents, socks and boring stuff first, then all the rest, a slow build up to the best gift, but no BB gun. Until my dad said, hey, there's one more gift behind the tree. And I went and looked, and sure enough, one long present. And I opened it, and there it was, the BB gun of my dreams. All of our Christmases were like that, a slow build up to the big moment, the big reveal, the best present. It reminds me that God also loves giving gifts. In fact, He has given every single person at least one gift to be used in pursuit of their life mission. So that means that God has given you gifts. And you may not realize it yet, but they are exactly the right gifts for you to accomplish your one-of-a-kind masterpiece mission. Now, there are 2 questions everyone needs to answer regarding their gifts if they want to discover their one-of-a-kind masterpiece mission. Knowing the answer to these questions can mean the difference between just existing and being fully alive. Knowing the answers to these questions can mean the difference between impact or impasse in your life. The first gift question you have to ask is this: what are my ordinary, everyday abilities and skills? Now, maybe you've not connected the dots or even considered that those everyday gifts and abilities that you have are what God has given you. Ask yourself this: what are those everyday abilities that God has given me? And how willing and available am I to use these abilities for the mission of Jesus? I think back to when we were finishing the construction on our building at Cornerstone. We had lots of things that needed to be done in and around the building. And amazingly, people just started coming to us, offering their talents to do the work. One person painted murals in our children's area. Another person handled the landscaping. When the time came to add an outdoor playground, we had a whole group of people with skills come together to build our awesome playground. Even today, we have people who give of their time and talents to help our church lead more people to know and serve Jesus. And there are others who are out using their gifts in the community to make a difference in other people's lives. You see, when our day-to-day abilities meet the needs of others, we've taken the first step of running toward the battle, armed with our sling, just like young David going out to face the giant Goliath. That's a big part of discovering your masterpiece mission, understanding your natural abilities. You see, that's what God does. He puts us at the right place at the right time with the right gifts in our hand. And you have natural talents and abilities that God will use to do greater things than you can imagine in your own masterpiece mission. Now, this is the second question regarding your gifts. What are your spiritual gifts? Paul says in 1 Corinthians 7:7, I wish that all of you were as I am, but each of you has your own gift from God. One has this gift and another one has that. Then in Ephesians 4:4-8, he says, there is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. But to each of us, grace has been given as Christ apportioned it. This is what it says. When he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people. The scriptures are crystal clear. Every person has been regenerated by God's amazing grace through faith in Jesus Christ and his life, death, and resurrection, and is filled with the very Spirit of God. And when the Spirit of God takes up residence in us, he brings supernatural gifts and power along with him. The word commonly translated as gift in the New Testament is the Greek word charismata. The word means gifts of grace, and it refers to the special abilities that God has given believers through the Holy Spirit. Every believer has at least one Spirit-empowered gift, and when you use it, it unleashes a supernatural impact on the heart and the mind and soul of other people. It changes things in the unseen realm, which is pretty amazing. And when you take the online GPS assessment, you discover that you have both what we call a sling and a harp. You possess both natural gifts and supernatural gifts. Knowing your gifts, both natural and supernatural, is absolutely essential to engaging your masterpiece mission. Really, this is the simple stuff God uses to change the world. You focusing on a few gifts and giving them intentionally, consistently, and creatively to the people and places of need you are most passionate about. And you know, there's no telling what he may do through you. So now I'm going to turn this over to your group leader so that you can discuss how all of this works in your life.